Hi, everybody. Before we get into the passage on page 169, I'm going to take you quickly through the final two captions from stage 29. Um, and up here in the right-hand corner, I have listed the endings for the passive voice as a reminder, Urister Mermini Inter. And just like our old friend personal endings, those will agree with the subject, even though, as we discussed, the subject will not be performing the action of the passive verb, but will be having the action of the verb performed upon it or them. So, caption number 3 here, we see a parade going through the streets. Aliquando, sometimes splendid processions are led through the forum. Okay, we've got our present passive. The untur tells us it's passive, third plural, because our subject processions are plural. The fourth caption, near the middle of the forum is the temple of Vesta. In Greek, she is Hestia, the goddess of the hearth, where the sacred fire is tended, is taken care of by the Vestal virgins, the women put in charge of keeping that sacred flame alight at all times. Near the middle of the forum is the temple of Vesta, where the sacred fire, subject, a third person singular, and it, the sacred fire, is tended, curatur, third person singular, by the Vestal virgins. Okay, moving right ahead to the passage on page 169. I'm going to ask you to translate lines 1 through 10. And we begin a whole new story with a whole cast of characters here. This story, appropriately, I think, is going to put some things in perspective for us in our situation here, stuck in our homes. And it is concerning the plight of the Jews in the province of Judea, modern day Israel, more or less. But we'll get there soon. I encourage you, when you get a moment, to read the story, the culture section on Rome and Judea. That can be found on page 100 and sorry, 187, and it's entitled Rome and Judea. Please give that a read when you get a chance. Okay, it is nighttime. We have the moon and stars out. Everybody's sleeping, but in Rome, there is nullum silentium. And we get a dichotomy of situations here. We have what's going on in the homes of the divites, the rich people, versus what's happening in the homes of the poor people. And the poor people live in insulae. These are what we would call tenement buildings or apartment complexes. Okay. Now, as we look at this passage starting in line 4, we see a whole host of passive verbs. Please beware of those as you make your way through the passage. And they bring them thick and fast here. I think that's it. Okay. So, in the homes of the rich people, there's lots of feasting and partying going on, songs being sung, etc. Versus starting in line 8, in the altis insulis, in the high tenement buildings. No great meals are going on. No music is happening. We have pauperes. Oops, excuse me. We have the poor people. Oh boy, sorry. We have the pauperes, the poor. Um, they are confecti, the poor people. Confecti. The note gives you for confecti, worn out or exhausted by fame. The Italian word fame means the same thing. We get our word famine from that. And they are leading a certain kind of life there, miserimam. Okay. Some of them writing to their patronos, patrons. This was a system in Rome of patronage. There were patrons and clientes, what we call clients. The patrons were wealthy, and literally patrons of the poorer people who would show up at their doors in the morning to get a handout of food or maybe a small amount of money. And so some of the clientes, the poor folks, are writing letters to their patrons. Ut, want to know why they're writing letters? Of course you do. Purpose clause. And others are up to some more nefarious activities, as you'll see as you translate. Notice that sclera and forta are both neuter, accusative, plural, direct objects of the infinitive comitere. Good luck with these 11 lines. Beware of the passive voice and translate accordingly, both in terms of voice, passive, and tense. And as I take a casual look here at the verbs I've highlighted, they're all actually in the imperfect passive, as you can tell by the bas throughout. So these will all be translated as was or were blanked, or was or were being blanked. Good luck, everybody, and I will see you next time.